in round 2 they did replace SK Alpha, as SK Alpha was disqualified from the previous round due to controversy regarding their clan leader or whatever. So they currently don't have any they don't have any stats or anything, so it's going to be their first match, their debut match in the STPL, and they are going to be looking into going into some really kicks maps here as we move on to the map screen. Showing on set 1, we'll be starting off with Troy. Set 2, we're going to move to Triathlon. Set 3 will be on New Sniper Ridge, thank you for the follow by the way. Set 4 will be on Hitchhiker, and finally, if we do make it to that ace match this week, Set 5 will be on Neo Electric Circuit. So, are we going to see the ace match? I think this is one match that could definitely go there. And let's have a look at our matchup for today. You can see this in the thread if you haven't already. But starting us off is going to be a PvZ between PRL and Dark. Now PRL, a relatively new player to the DM roster, did pretty well at the end of round 1. Here he is again in their debut match in round 2, so White with a little bit of confidence in his player there. Following him and Dark, not too sure about Dark, I don't really know too much about him, which is why I didn't go into it too much. But following them will be a PvT on Triathlon between Dodobee and Fly Mio. Now, Dodobee was added to DM at the very end of round 1, so we've not seen him play yet. Same with Fly Mio, I've not seen him play before, so it should be interesting to see how that game goes. Following that up will be a ZVP on New Sniper Ridge between Galaxy and Empute, which should be quite fun. Galaxy once again added at the very end of round 2, so White giving him, or very end of round 1, so White giving him a go in the debut match here. And Empute once again for BuLL team. I've not really seen him play too much, but to get on BuLL team, I believe they're all Bolivian, and they're all fairly strong players, so we'll have to watch out for them. Now finally, on game 4, we're going to have the ace player. I say ace player, he may not be the ace player but in this game, but previously in round 1, Tech was the ace for DM many times, and he delivered so many great results. And it's going to be a PvT on Hitchhiker between him and Reyna. So we'll have to see how they do. That should be a very fun game. Tech did really well in his PvT against Famas, against White in the playoff semi-finals. But let's introduce our first 2 players here. Have a look more at them. Whoops, wrong screen. As I said, it's going to be a PvC between PRL and Dark. Now, it looks like PRL did play twice, so he had 1 win, 1 loss, so he did a pretty good job last round. He played twice out of 9 games for them, so I think White has a bit of confidence in him, which is good. It's always nice to see. And Dark, this is of course going to be his debut match. He doesn't have a rank from round 1, but PRL joins one of the many people who was actually tied for 6th in round 1, so that's what we'll see here. But they are going to be playing on Troy. Now Troy, one of my favourite maps, I say that every time, I swear, but Troy has got really interesting mechanics. It has the 2 gases. If you blow up one of the assimilators, only small units can get through, so Marines, Zerglings, Zealots, Ghosts, and if you destroy both, only Ghosts can get through. But of course, this is going to be a PvZ, so there'll be no Ghosts in play, and let's see how both of these players react to the map, and see how exactly they're going to play out this game as we move into game 1. Let's go. Okay, so starting us off in the top left-hand corner for the first time in the tournament for him, it's going to be Dark in the red, fighting for BuLL team even, blue team, whoops. And his opponent down here in the bottom left-hand position is going to be the yellow Protoss, fighting for White once again. Their debut match of round 2, it's going to be PRL. Now, as I did mention before, we've not seen BuLL so far in the STPL. They are one of the newcomer teams, so it'll be kind of interesting to see exactly how they're going to perform and how well they do against DM here. Now, DM definitely proved to be a relatively strong team last round. So if you don't know already, they did come 4th overall. So the way the STPL works is there is a group stage of 7 weeks. Group A and Group B fight off in a round-robin format. And then at the end, the top 2 teams from each group go into the playoffs. Now, for Group A last time, that was NetWars in 1st and DM in 2nd. And DM went up against White Clan. Unfortunately, they did lose that game, but it was a pretty exciting series. We had some close games. And then they unfortunately did lose to NetWars as well, but it was an insanely close series there as well. So DM's certainly a strong team. It's going to be hard for BuLL to come in here and really try and bully their way into this. And that was a really bad pun. But it looks like we're going to have 2-gate coming up for PRL. Now, he could be playing to the map's strengths. Now, as I did mention, as you can see, you do have the assimilators here. You can't mine from them, and once they are destroyed, they cannot be rebuilt. But the important thing to know is that as soon as they are both destroyed, the other player cannot get out of their main without drop. Or, of course, they've got a hatchery to build. But it does lock you into an island. Now, there are builds you can actually do where you kill your own assimilators and actually lock yourself in. Try and take some of the island bases and some of the outer rim bases. That's not really all that common, but luckily enough for Dark, he's going to see this immediately. He sent his Overlord towards the other natural, so I kind of expected that it did eventually get there. Now, I'm not sure what the audio levels are like. Hopefully they're okay. I was fiddling about with them just a little bit to try and make it a little bit easier for me, because before it was really loud in my ears, but I think it's still loud on the stream, so that's good. But how exactly is PRL going to follow this 2-gate up? Is he going to go fully all in with it? Is he just going to basically gamble at the fact that he can kill the assimilators? Or is he going to try and expand behind this? Now, it's one thing going for a 2-gate like this, but if it doesn't do damage against a fast expanding Zerg player, you can actually be behind. Now, this is a lot of links that Dark has added on already, so if he gets a good position here on the Zealots, he could be able to actually clean up these Zealots. So I was just laughing at Clan X17's comment in the in the chat. I can't believe they allowed Vuvuzelas back at the World Cup. They were the worst thing about the South African one, and you know what? It makes me glad I'm not watching the games. But here we go. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of engagement here as the Zealots try and jostle for position, but of course they are going to have to come up the ramp, one of them out in front, just to see exactly what's going on. Now, what is PRL's response to this? It looks like Dark has just added on so many lings, and whether or not this is actually going to work out for him, I'm not too sure. But PRL is being forced to retreat, and this is one of the problems. When you go for 2-gate, you don't have cannons, you don't have those extra bits of defense to defend against a counterattack, and Dark should actually be adding speed. There we go, speed is just finished. And now PRL has to be incredibly careful. He cannot let these lings get into his main, because just as the Zealots... Oh my god, they're going to run past. They're going to run past the gateways. Are they going to go for the assimilators? They can't get into the main now. But this, of course, is going to allow the other Zerglings a chance to get in. Although it doesn't look like he's moving them in right now. He's trying to focus on this one set of lings, but this could be a mistake. He needs to try and be a little bit more active with all of his units. But PRL's Zealots are actually being pulled away all over the place right now, as he does try to save his own natural. But Dark is still adding on more and more Zerglings. It looks like he's going all in with this. There's not a single drone at his natural, and here we go, there's one cannon or one core being added. That's not going to help you defend. The Zealot's in a very nice position though between the Forge. But is this just too many Zerglings? There's so many links here. The Zealots trade incredibly efficiently with them. But still, this is just way too many units for PRL to hold on to. And I think Dark may be making an explosive entrance into the STPL here. And he may even choose to lock PRL into his main. Although maybe he does just want to go for the kill. He's taking out the pylon that's powering the only 2 production buildings of our Protoss player. He's added cannons back at home. Only one does survive. And it looks like he's going to be holding on to his main, but for how long? The gateways are going to go down. The Forge is going to go down as well. And that's a lot of lost money that he's not going to be able to get back. Now, is Dark going to continue to go all in here? It looks like he's adding on more and more lings. It looks like he wants to bust, although he is finally starting to add on some extra drones. He's going to add an extra hatchery, which is kind of surprising to me, given the fact he's not really got anything mining it as natural yet. But here we go, looks like the lings are coming in. Is there enough cannons to hold on? He's going for a Stargate behind this. Maybe he does expect that Dark could be going for like a Spire play or something, but little does he know, Dark has not been building anything but Zerglings this entire time, and finally we see some extra drones being added on. And Dark looks like he wants to transition out of this, but interestingly, Dark isn't killing these assimilators. Like, oh, there we go. Is he going to lock himself in though? This could be a pretty big deal, because if he kills both, his lings aren't going to get out of the base. But you know what? I'm wondering if he could actually just break in, but the trouble is, this is one of the things I really like about the map. When you destroy these assimilators, nothing can get in or out apart from ghosts, which is kind of an interesting factoid. But now all of these lings are completely forfeit, but this Citadel of Adun could be for Templar Archives, and it looks like we're going to have a Robo as well, so PRL knows that he's going to have to break out of this somehow. Now, if you haven't noticed already on the minimap, there's actually an island base. It does have gas here, but it is only 6 minerals. That should be fairly easy for him to take. It's going to be a while before Dark can actually get any units to contest it. And do we even have a lair on the way? No, we don't. He's actually going for Hydralisks. Now, I don't know if I realistically agree with this decision, purely on the back of the fact that the Hydralisks cannot actually get into the main right now. So they're not going to be able to do any damage, but does Dark realise this is how this works? I'm sure he does, because I know that they did download the maps a little bit before the start of round 2, so hopefully they've done a little bit of practice, and he should know that he can't get his lings out. But we do finally have some Corsairs coming out. I guess the Hydras are mainly to help against the Corsairs, but that's one forced kill on the Overlords, and these Corsair counts is just going to continue. Oh, no, it doesn't look like he is going to continue to go up. I was incorrect. He's not actually adding on anything. And this is going to be an interesting moment, because Dark isn't into, or PRL is sort of in a bad spot. The good thing is for him, his opponent's only on 1 base, or 2 base even. He scouted this out with his Corsairs. As you can see, you actually have 3rd bases you can take behind here as well, and at the 12 o'clock, but we've got Dark moving down with a lot of Hydralisks. He can't get through the gap though, so this is going to feel a bit sad for him. Maybe he's going to go for Overlord drop, but once again he doesn't actually have lair, so he can't drop into the main. Now I think Dark isn't quite sure how that works, because yeah, he's just going to be glitching out around here. They can't get through that gap, but they will be able to scout for these Corsairs, maybe try and take them down. But finally we have a DT, but the DT actually needs to watch out for the Overlord, which is kind of funny. But once this Overlord's dead, which it will be incredibly shortly, these lings are all going to eventually die. This DT is going to do a lot. 3 Corsairs now. And all PRL realistically has to do, or 2 Corsairs, he actually loses one in a little bit of a misclick there to the Hydralisks that are currently bugged out, but looks like we finally do have a shuttle. He's going to take this island base. Very, very important that he does do that. One thing he could do is actually take this base and lock himself in still. We finally see that lair coming up from Dark. This is going to give him the option of going for drops, going for Spire. But he's playing a little bit awkwardly here. He's moving his Overlords out into the middle. He knows there's a high Corsair count. The lings are doing their best to just run away, but unfortunately for him, BTs do not forget they are not elephants, so they'll continue to chase those all day until they're all dead. But the lings will get a scout out on the base now. Does he see? He does not see this Nexus yet. He can't get an Overlord over here either. But here we go. Looks like the Corsairs coming back in, coming in for another scout. Gonna be denied once again for now, as they pull back and go home. But okay, so if we're thinking about this game logically now, we finally have PRL taking an extra base. It looks like he's going to take another base as well, but he's going to have to make sure he kills these, or we'll just die to Hydralisks. How is Dark going to react? Is he going to get Overlord speed? Is he going to get Overlord drop? It looks like speed is going to be order of the day first. That makes a lot of sense, but I wonder why Dark hasn't actually opted to expand behind this. I almost feel like he's just letting PRL do what he wants right now. He did go for an all-in earlier on, so it does delay his economy quite a lot. But he does have 3 hatches worth of production. And he's adding on a lot of drones. Like, I just feel like he needs to just add on another couple of bases. He knows that his opponent can't get any ground units out of his base without shuttles. So what exactly is his plan? But here we go. Looks like we're going to have a Reaver, a High Templar, and a DT. The 1-1-1 drop of death as the DT moves up into the main. The other things are coming into the natural now. I don't think I've ever seen this composition of drops before, but here we go. First Reaver Scarab does go down. No Storm yet. Oh my god, the DT's in the main. It's got 24 kills. That was partially from the Lings before, but all of the drones in the main are going down. And it looks like the shuttle's coming back in. The Hydralisk unsure what to do. A nice Storm goes down, killing most of the remaining drones as well. Oh man, PRL with one fell swoop has almost turned the tides in this game. He's going up to a 3rd base. He's got his natural, he's just mining the gas. He's not even worrying about minerals right now, as all he knows is he has to build shuttles and Templar, and then he can just keep storm dropping forever. But that was an insane amount of harassment damage, and this is where Dark is really going to start to hurt over the fact he hasn't taken another base. He doesn't have that many drones left. Luckily enough, it does look like some were transferred away, so they did transfer back, but I just feel so bad for Dark right now. He needs to take another base. He needs to expand somewhere. He's got all of his units back in defense mode right now. It looks like we could have a drop coming in here shortly at least. Yeah, there we go. Ventral Sacs. I think it's Ventral Sacs. I think that's what the operator is called. But that's going to be going in. But he needs to be careful because there's going to be Corsairs. There's going to be units to defend at least. And it looks like he's going to shuttle some probes over. And he is going to kill these assimilators. So he will take that 3rd base, or the 4th base even, at the 6 o'clock. And Dark is just finding himself getting further and further behind by just being a little bit too inactive with his units. It looks like we're going to have another shuttle coming in. What is in this one? It's going to be 2 High Templar, but he needs to be careful. This shuttle is going to be quite fragile. It took a little bit of hull damage before, but there we go. The drop's going down. This is going to be so much damage. A huge storm goes off, getting a lot of drones once again. And that's actually 3 drones in one. That was kind of cool. But yeah, he does lose the shuttle, he does lose the High Templar, but as you can see, he's sitting pretty on his one base. He doesn't really need that many minerals, because he isn't building a ton of gateways. It's going to be kind of annoying to build gateways there. And now Dark looks like he's going on the offensive. This is his counterattack, and this is going to be the moment where PRL is going to wish he had added a little more gateway units, because what's going to happen is these units are going to drop in this base. And if they get in, if he properly escorts this with Hydralisks, there's only going to be at least 1 storm here to defend. And here we go, the drops coming in. Does PRL scout this? He sees it now, but the Corsairs are out of position. The High Templar drop, or the Hydralisk drop on top of the High Templar. And suddenly the tables have turned once again. You may have 4 bases, PRL, but what can you do to defend your main? And there is some cannons, there is going to be a couple of Reavers. This is going to help him a lot, but the Reavers are so far away, and they're not going to be able to actually get through this, I don't think. But here we go, the Hydralisks are diving on top of the mineral line. Looks like the Reavers finally able to take a shot on these Hydralisks. Oh, but it looks like Dark has actually seen this base as well. He's going to start trying to rain some fire down from the high ground, but it looks like Hydralisk range just a little bit out of position. And here we go, the Stargate is going to go down. We have another huge drop coming into the main, and PRL is doing his best to hold on. He's built a gateway out there, but he can't really get anything out of his base. And here we go, the 4 cannons. Are they going to be enough? There is 2 Reavers. Reavers do an insane job against clump top Hydralisks. And he's doing a little bit of micro. He's got an extra 2 cannons at the back with a High Templar. Storm isn't ready, but with the Stargate going down, the cannons going down, the Citadel going down as well, it looks like PRL may be losing all of his tech here and could be in an awful position moving forward. But the Corsairs as well, trying to come in, trying to snipe the Overlords, but not quite managing it. Getting one, but all the Corsairs go down, and there is not a Stargate anymore. Now it looks like Dark is doing a really good job positioning his units just out of range of everything. But here we go, Reaver Scarabs coming in. Does a very, very nice split though. And oh my god, he's going to lose his High Templar. He's picking them up. He's doing a really good job microing here. And it looks like he will eventually clean up the Hydras that are currently in his base. But how can he deal with these? He is mining off of this base now. And he is mining fully off of this base. No mining at the 6 as of yet. Oh no, the shot on 5 health! How did that get out? That's absolutely insane, but he's sending most of his defense away with this. And oh my god, he needs to be so careful with this. Well, it's going to be a couple of Hydralisk shots now. There we go, looks like he's trying to drop behind, trying to take out some of these Hydralisks. But he needs to be so careful. A missed storm there, unfortunately. And the final Hydralisks are going to be going into the main. But has PRL held? He's adding on more cannons again. He's got his Reavers at the back. They're going to help him defend. And he's built most of his probes again. He does need to make sure he's cancelling these extra buildings. There we go. Does he save the Hydras? Yes, he does. The Reaver even. But he needs to be very careful. A lot of his units are very weak. They're very damaged by the Hydralisks. And it looks like that Reaver is hiding behind the shuttle portrait. But there we go. 5 kills on him. Does go down. 1 cannon does remain in the main. It's completely unpowered. Sorry, there's a second one here as well. But it looks like the main has finally been broken. Storming his own probes for good measure. Another High Templar does go down. Finally, we see some mining starting to happen at the 6 o'clock base. But it looks like he's going to have to abandon his main. He's trying to take any probes he can away from here. He knows that the Hydras are not fully in range of these minerals, but all of the tech is going to go down. This is +1 armor, and that is not going to finish. Like, you need to cancel that, or you're going to lose the money. And there we go. It looks like he's lost some of the money at least from that, so that's kind of annoying. But the Hydra is going to find they can't get into this base, so he's going to know something's up. We finally have a DT here as well that's going to help try to hold on to this base. But I'm not too sure. It looks like the... Oh wow, are we going to have PRL just expanding everywhere? Is this a full South America game? I mean, this is 2 South American players, so seeing some crazy stuff wouldn't be out of character. But here we go, Dark moving in with his Overlords again. They're in cannon range, though he needs to drop soon or he's going to lose his Overlords. Oh, is the Reaver going to be enough to really hold on to this? He's got 2 High Templar, he's storming the Overlords. Nicely done. Somehow misses all of his probes, but still there's so many Hydras coming down. 1 health, or 4 health on that Overlord. He needs to be careful. Where did the Reaver go? There was a Reaver here a second ago, I'm fairly certain. But here we go. Looks like the Nexus is going to go down. The DT, that was actually a really nice dodge. That was really nicely done. I've seen a lot of players actually just suicide their DT like that, but he will save his Nexus. He did lose his main Nexus, though. He's going to lose his Robo Support Bay. That's going to stop him from building any more Reavers. Looks like the Hydra's doing their best to try and run away, but not quite managing it. This DT doing too much of a good job there. Finally, we have this base fully saturated, and Dark still has not expanded. Now, I thought by now we'd see another base, but you know what? He thinks he's ahead. He thinks he doesn't need to expand. But he's actually up against a 3-base Protoss now, with only 2 bases. And it's not completely unwinnable for PRL. PRL lost his main, he lost his tech, but he can still come back here. Now, PRL of course is going to have to really rebuild a lot of probes, maybe transfer a few over. But this DT is just checking around, and one thing that PRL is doing, which I'm very impressed with, is he's just building stuff all over the place. Like, he's building a Nexus over here, he's built 2 gateways here just to stop the Zerg player from really being able to expand anywhere. Now, we actually have a DT going to go for this drone. Will it notice it? Yes, it will. Now, the drone unfortunately will start the hatchery most likely, but then it will die. And GG! Dark has left the game. Dark just feels like he's too far behind despite killing PRL's main. So I have no idea what I was just watching, but Dark unfortunately is going to go down in the first game for BuLL. And PRL is going to take DM up 1-0. I'm not really sure what else to say about that game, if I'm honest, because it was kind of weird. Like, I don't really get where that was coming from. Like, what happened? How it was all going on? Now, it looks like Dark maybe didn't think about expanding and maybe thought, well, I've not expanded yet, and I'm not going to be able to expand again, so I guess that's it. But I almost feel like he threw in the towel a little bit too early. I guess maybe it was a bit of a weird game, maybe a weird situation, not too sure. But let's get ready to move on to the next game, which should be a good one as well. So, sorry, I am getting, like, my voice is completely going. It is so hot in the UK right now, like, it's absolutely ridiculous. But for the first time in round 2, I'm going to bring up the round 2 intro, and then we can get the next replay loaded, the overlay set up for the next game, and we can move on to our second game of today. I will see you guys in just a moment.